regarding Google. Is there any concern now that Iran's actions following Google's dispute with China could indicate that regimes are now going to be targeting U.S. companies and internet freedoms in general as a means of tighter controls?
Well, I think that's been happening for quite some time. I don't think this is. I don't think access to the internet and to open communications is something that has just happened recently. I think this has happened for a while. You heard the president in Shanghai speak out about it as it related to China. I do not have specifics around the degree to which Google brought any of its concerns to us about what was happening in Iran.
So not whether it's escalating or not with Iran now?
I will check with NSC see if they have anything more particular on this.
And the president, he's meeting with Secretary of State Clinton later today. I guess she's going to the Middle East this week. Is he going to be setting any goals for her for that trip?
Well, look, this is part of their weekly meeting. I assume there'll be a number of topics that will be discussed. She and others are traveling in the next few days and few weeks to the Middle East, and we want to continue to make progress and get these two parties back at the table.
One more question. There's a report out of Damascus that Syria has accepted the president's candidate for ambassador there, Robert Stephen Ford. Can you confirm that he has nominated Ford?
I can check. I don't have anything on that.
You get back to all of us on
Pleasure.
The president told Bloomberg Business Week in the context of a conversation about dealing with the deficit and this commission he's going to set up. The whole point is to make sure that all ideas are on the table. So what I want to do is be completely agnostic in terms of solutions. That was in the write-up of the interview suggests the context of whether or not he would be willing to raise taxes on those Americans, individuals earning less than $200,000.
Let me read what he said at when he was asked the question the first time. I don't want to prejudge the commission because the whole point of it is to make sure that all ideas are on the table and let's see what folks can come up with. So what the president was saying, which I think the president will set up a commission. The president's not a member of that commission. The president is not going to prejudge the outcome of a commission that he's setting up on an issue as important as getting our deficit and debt under control. That's up to the commission. And I would say this, Major, I hope that we hope that Republicans, many of whom supported this commission before they had to vote on this commission, and then they magically didn't support this commission. We hope that when the president signs this executive order and announces his picks for this commission, that they will demonstrate their seriousness in dealing with an issue of this magnitude by taking part in that commission.
What's the timeline on that? It's still going to be this week?
The snow got us a little off track, so it'll be in the next 10 days or so.
How does not prejudging compare with what he said during the campaign?
He's not a member of this commission. I think the president has demonstrated through cutting taxes for middle-class families and for holding the line on. The president doesn't believe our economic growth should be predicated on raising taxes on middle-class families. But that being said, the president's just not going to get in the game of prejudging the outcome of a commission that one hasn't been set up and hasn't met. I think
opposed to any tax increase for those he outlined during the campaign.
He does, and he's not going to prejudge what the outcome of the commission will be.
Would that make him an atheist instead of an agnostic on that matter?
I was going to check on that, but I'm not.
You had a lengthy conversation with Savannah and Todd this morning on Abdul Muttalib, but I want to ask you one question about that. If Abdul Muttalib, or a case very similar to it, and I know each case was different, presents different facts and different scenarios, would you handle it the way it was this case was handled?
I'll say this. We're quite comfortable with the way this one was handled. I'm not going to get into hypotheticals, Major, because this case is different than what happened, obviously, on September 11th. This case is different from the details of what happened with Richard Reed. It's hard to compare apples to oranges in this case.
One thing implied is that there's always after action, there's always a look back, and in the process of looking back,
absolutely, there.
Have you found room for improvement or methodologies that might be executed differently?
I know that John Brennan has been tasked in a process to implement changes based on the report that the president originally got on intelligence failures. The president asked for us to examine all of what was done that day and in the days after to ensure that we were doing this the best way possible. That's the president's role. That's what he asked everyone to do.
In a rare alignment, MoveOn.org, Paul Krugman and Bill Kristol all agree the president was wrong when he said he does not begrudge Wall Street bonuses.
But the president didn't say that, Major.
I'm saying what they're saying he said.
Well,
he said success. I don't begrudge success. I don't begrudge
Let's not
their
play
wealth.
hypothetical. No,
Right,
no.
he said I don't begrudge their success. I don't begrudge their wealth.
No. I, like most of the American people, don't begrudge people's success or wealth.
Because the question was about
I've read the question. You and I talked about this
I know, but the
like
question
4
was
times.
about-
I understand the question was about bonuses. The question, and the president on 5 different occasions, just as I emailed you yesterday, causing you to re-examine what you'd written based off of the interview, that the president was talking in that sentence, as he's done many times, about he does not believe the federal government should be setting salaries for business in America. He still believes that.
Does he still remain comfortable with the analogy he made with Major League Baseball players? Many have pointed out, yes, Major League Baseball players make a lot of money. No, many of them will make the World Series, but none of them had anything to do with the financial crisis or bad.
Well, I don't think the president would
decisions.
argue that not many baseball players had anything to do with the financial crisis. I don't think that's the point he was trying to make was that there are obscene and shocking salaries and obscene and shocking compensation that don't match what happens with your performance.
Blank Fine and Diamond count.
Hold on. Let me finish my answer. That the president has said that these ought to be based on performance, not on risk taking. Okay.
New ones are.
Right. In the sense that yes, they're in stock rather than in right.
Long-term health.
There should be a say on pay. Shareholders ought to be able to weigh in on this. And he said that salaries like you were talking about with baseball and these bonuses are extraordinary and shocking.
Blank Fine and Diamond, are those obscene bonuses, blank fines and diamonds?
The president has spoken repeatedly on these bonuses and finds them, as he did in here, extraordinary and shocking.
Have you been
Multiple
asked
about them.
specifically about blank
And he
fines
said
and
extraordinary
diamonds?
and shocking specifically.
Are they obscene? Are they an offense? Are they a violation
The
of our
president
moral
doesn't have any
principles?
different view on bonuses yesterday than he had 10 days ago or 10 months
Because
ago.
these are different
They're moving in.
in type from the ones that were not linked
They're-
to
look.
long-term held stock.
Ensuring that bonuses are paid in that way is a movement in the right direction, right? Does that justify the level of these bonuses when through only through the taxpayers' assistance would these banks still even exist? Of course not. Scott.
Senator Corker has said that he wants to help out with the financial regulatory reform bill. Senator Grassley is participating in the jobs bill. How do you account for this apparent bipartisan goodwill?
Well, the snow may indicate that it's all frozen over. No, look, I think let's take these individually. Look, the Finance Committee is working in a bipartisan way on a series of measures to create an environment where hiring can take place, as well as to extend things like unemployment compensation and health care for people that have lost their job. Senator Corker has been very active in this process, in the process of financial reform. I think there are certainly many in this town that want to deal with the problems that people face, whether it's creating jobs or whether it's ensuring that we have rules for the road that protect against the type of excessive risk-taking that led to the near collapse